Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO, and why did there it goes? I was going to say my light didn't start up. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? I am here rocking the pajamas today, being comfortable. So yes, I have Snoopy pajamas on. But hey, good morning, everybody. I hope y'all are doing great. AJ, the CEO, here, so y'all can see what I'm doing here. And we put the lower third here. Hey, thank y'all for joining. It's been a minute, folks. So again, I apologize for taking so long. We took a much needed vacation. We've had a lot of stuff going on. So thank you so much. I hope y'all can hear me fine. I'm going to uncrank this for half a second. Why did that? All right. So audio sounds fine to me. Please let me know if it's not sounding good. A lot of stuff has happened. So let's go jump through this. But hey, if I can't get to your question, know that you can always email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me indeed 48 to 72 hours to respond. Um, we are going to have a roundtable this Sunday. Yep, we're going to have one. So if you want to be a part of that, where you are working and talking and having a mastermind with other media ministries from all over the world, all you got to do is join the Facebook group, go to Facebook and look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and get you automatically get in once you answer those 3 questions. But please be mindful of the questions, because if you try to live stream when it's not appropriate, you will get kicked out. And I'm hearing the sound here. Discord is on. Let me turn that off. What else? What else we got? If you don't mind, folks, I'm just being honest, and I'm in a mentorship class for my YouTube stuff, and I'm behind on my homework. So you might start seeing a bunch of changes based off of what I've learned with analytics, help letting YouTube understand how to find the right people for my channel. I was guilty of sharing my link on YouTube, and I mean on from YouTube on Facebook and other places, and I'm learning that's not really the best thing, because YouTube can't find where my people are, the audience. So that's why that link is not there. So please make sure you have that bell notification on. And for live streams like this, the only people who can leave comments are subscribers. So if you like what we're doing here and you're all about trying to share the message and leverage media ministry, because that's what a calling that we all have, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you have the bell notification on. That way you don't miss out when we have new videos. Hey, you'll be surprised. 69% of the people who watch videos on my channel are not subscribed. So please, I'd appreciate that. That's the small thing that I ask for from y'all. And hopefully I've earned that. I'm not asking you to just do it. I hope what I do has earned that from y'all. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to everybody that's on here. Streets of Destiny. Hello. What is going on? From Phoenix, Arizona. Carriers of the Covenant Ministry. Hello, hello. I'm gonna get to y'all's questions, and actually, before I do that, YouTube dropped some new stuff. This Q&A thing. This is new. I just saw it this morning, so I'm just gonna try and leverage it. And for anybody who's doing this, this is powerful. I'm gonna actually do this and see what happens, because I have the questions listed here, and I can select a question, and I want to see what happens. Okay, it doesn't show it on here. It only shows it and pins it inside the chat. That's what I'm seeing. I thought it was going to embed it here on that. So, oh well. Um, and I'm not seeing how y'all's questions are coming up through the traditional stuff here, through the regular chat. So I may have steered y'all wrong for half a second. Um, Yeah, so for right now, my apologies for everybody. I will answer those questions. Please just leave your regular questions inside of the chat. I thought this I was in the hopes of thinking that it was going to bring. Hold on, let me copy out all the questions, because it looks like when I close this, it's going to um, get rid of these questions. So the people, it was only 3 questions that got submitted from there, from Leroy, Carriers of the Covenant, and Pastor Daniel. So I got your questions. Again, this is why you don't try and do stuff right there on the fly. Let me get one last question here. Well, forget it. I'll keep it open. I'll just have to respond to it. So we learned that way. Let's get back to everybody, giving shout outs to everybody. You know who I am. Hello. Good morning, Parker. What's going on? Mr. Clarence, hello, hello. You know what? I just got back from North Carolina and I just realized I didn't update my Patreon and YouTube member list. So again, my apologies. We got a bunch of people who have joined, which I really appreciate, and I want to make sure I shout y'all out, but I apologize for not having that there. Philip Paul, what's going on? Like I said, Pastor Daniel, what's going on? Brian Jones, what is going on? Zaka Productions, hello. Thanks for joining. And why did that question not come up? There you go. Antonio, what's going on? Joe Lance from Houston, Texas, what's going on? Annie Lester, hello, hello. Terry from San Antonio. We got some more Texas folks here. Did that Lamar? Hello, hello. Bruce Adams, what is going on? Chris, hello. Darius, hello. Mousy, what's up, lady? Sandra, good morning. Good morning. Wayne, hello. Sean White, what's going on? My cousin Derek, what's going on there, cuz? Mom's video, hello. Mitch Roy, hey, good morning. Keith, what's going on? One Book Club, good morning. Marita Yabara, hello. And sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. And Kenneth, hey, what is going on? Now, again, I'm sorry for keep dipping and dodging before I officially go any further. Hoorah for any Marines that are out there, or better yet, any veterans out there. Thank you so much for your service. Really appreciate it. Hey, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. I think there's a bunch of places that you can get some free stuff and all that other stuff. So, enjoy the day and really appreciate it. So let me start with this. I haven't dropped this video yet, but if you were in the Facebook group, I gave you a heads up. So y'all, I've shared with y'all before that this channel is meant to help media ministries as best as I possibly can, and to set up a standard to where we can help and empower, use the leverage and the influence that I have here to try and bless and help as many ministries as possible. So what we have started, for every 10,000 subscriber goal that we hit, this channel, my company, we are going to be giving away a $2,000 live streaming bundle to one lucky person ministry every 10,000. So right now we're at 52,300 subscribers. When we hit, I'll give y'all a little gap for that. Once we hit 60,000, we're going to give some stuff away. When we hit 70,000, 80,000, my goal is to continue doing this until we get to 250,000 subscribers. All right. So every time we hit 10,000, that is the giveaway that we're going to be doing. That giveaway consists of, and did I have the link here? Let me see if I can bring it up. What was it? I made it, and I don't remember what it was. So give me a half a second to bring it up so I can have the link. And there's I'll provide that link in the chat as well too, so y'all can see it exactly what everything is. And there it is. Copy the link. It's on AJaytheCEO.com. All right, so if we cut over here, that $2,000 bundle consists of an A10 Mini Extreme, a IP PTZ joystick, get out of here, ads, a PoE switch, and an AVCAN's 20X PTZ camera. That is what it's going to consist of. All right, and that the only thing that you would need with that is, kind of did the heavy lifting for you. For anything like that, you need to have your own Ethernet cable. You need to have whatever type of cable to connect the PTZ all the way back to the ATEM. Your PoE switch sends power to the camera and the joystick. You need some Ethernet cables for that. And you need a monitor for the ATEM. If you want to use a hard drive, you can. I could have thrown in some more stuff, but I'm looking at my budget. So, we're not yet. We're not, making significant amounts coming in yet. But the more we grow, this is what I want to do to give back to the community and hopefully get some more ministries out there to share the message like never before. And I hope this stuff will empower them and empower y'all to be able to do that. So if you are interested in seeing that information of what's detailed, I just put that link in the chat. And more importantly, if you want to enter, you only got to enter once. But for those who are interested, that is the link to get to it. I wish I could make it simpler. For whatever reason, my domain name stuff is not working. So that's the link. Here, I don't think I can copy it right now, but it is in the Facebook group. So if you've already added it to the Facebook, hey, it's there. If you join, you'll see it. It's pinned right there at the front. So let me see if I can copy it real quick here so I can get it back for y'all. And while I'm doing that, let me know, hey, do y'all like this? You think it's stupid? What? I want to, this channel is meant to help ministries. And if this isn't there, hey, we can go in a different direction. Enter the giveaway here. And to enter the giveaway, mainly, you just have to be a member of the Facebook group. You need to be subscribed. You need to have notifications on, because that's the way you're going to get notified if you won the giveaway. All right. So hopefully that helps. Park, I'm going to jump to one of your questions real quick. You said, how is the Tesla? It is great. It is, I'm excited about all that good stuff. And it's been a week since I've had it. So I'm going to tell you, from all the driving that I have done, I don't know if it's going to zoom in if you can see it, I've only spent $71 in all of the driving that I've done. And if I was still driving my other car, I would have been at $250 in gas so far. So I am very thankful for that. But anyway, let me know. What y'all think? I mean, everybody's quiet. What do y'all think of the giveaway? Is it not good, not bad, whatever? Or if y'all ain't interested, I mean, I can shut the whole thing down. We can do something else, but hopefully that would help. But anyway, enough blabbing. Let's get to the questions that y'all got here. And let me close all. I don't need this. And let's go back to our first question with Carriers of the Covenant. Let's bring that up. Good morning, all. Your choice in a simple broadcast, would you stream in OBS to restream, or would you stream straight from restream, and why? From OBS to, well, it all depends. Now, when you do restream, let me log into my account real quick. Restream, for those who don't know, is a platform to where you could pay for or register to stream to multiple places at the same time. So won't let me log in. Hold on. So if you want to simplify it, instead of having multiple devices, you would stream to Restream, and then Restream would restream to other places. So if I close this comment, cut back over here. So this is my Restream account that I've had for years. Actually, no, this is my newer one. My gaming one is the one I had for years. Why is my video still off? You can link other accounts here. So like right now, if I edit my destinations, I have YouTube and I have Twitch on here. And it just happens to be the giveaway that I did a while ago. So I can link that here, and you could just point your streaming software, OBS, whatever, your ATEM directly to this, and then it would stream everywhere else. So Carriers of the Covenant Ministries question was, should I do it like this with OBS, or you can go directly into the studio and everything is streamed directly through the webpage? When you do it through the webpage, it's going to be using whatever your device, your camera, your webcam, your ATEM, if it's connected over USB, it's going to be using your computer to facilitate everything. Now, when you do use streaming software through a website like this, you are not going to, the website is going to dictate all of the settings for you. Like, you can't change the bit rate and make it higher quality and all this other stuff. They, on their side, is going to leverage all that, which can be an advantage, but maybe you have a computer with OBS that's running it. You can crank it a whole lot higher than what their system and using a webcam interface is going to use. So that is your choice. Me personally, I like to always have as much control as possible. So that's why I use OBS or the ATEM directly. But it all depends on the hardware that you have, which one that you should go with. So if your computer is able to handle it and your live stream is able to handle it, you can do it directly. You can use OBS. If you're having some issues by doing it through the web, technically the only thing you're really leveraging is sending all your video over USB to the web page. In the web page, all of the graphics, everything is done inside of the web page of Restream. So that is your choice. I've used both. When I'm on a low powered system, I use the web interface. YouTube does the same thing. Facebook does the same thing. Vimeo does the same thing. All these platforms have the same thing. But if you have more power and you want to, be more of a DIY and you want to have more control over everything, I always use something external like OBS or vMix, like what I'm using right now. All right. Hopefully that answers your question. And I think the follow-up question that he had was, question, what was that IA site program that you mentioned that you had questions about its writing ability? The AI, I don't recall what that is. I don't know if you're talking about the script or something like that. I don't recall. That's what I think, but let me know. You know who I am. Next question. Good morning. I have a few questions. First, I purchased the Acer Nitro 5 Intel Core i7 NVIDIA GeForce. How well does this laptop compare to the Asus TUF? Kind of hard for me to compare. I have the Acer Nitro 5, the AMD version, and it's working fine for me. I'm starting to get unhappy with some of the things, but I think that's just because of the updates that Windows has been pushing and all this other stuff. I'm not happy with its performance. That's from a software standpoint. It still does everything that I need to do. It's kind of hard for me to compare without them having both. One of my clients, I bought them. Well, actually, the church in Elgin that I'm maintaining remotely, I sent them an Asus TUF that is capable of live streaming. Mainly, that is my laptop as a conduit to remote in to take over their stuff if need be, a remote system. It's capable, but I've never had them side by side. I feel that they will handle the same thing. They're equivalent. So I don't think it's a problem. Now, the only benefit with the difference between the Intel one that you have, the AMD one I had the AMD Radeon GPU, and it had the NVIDIA one. So I had two GPUs, two encoders that I can use. I believe the one that you're using only has the NVIDIA one. So like for me, when I was live streaming games, I would have the AMD one handling the recording. But then I had the the NVIDIA GPU handling the live stream. So it's almost like I had two GPUs and one CPU. The CPU was just handling Windows. Both of those GPUs were handling different components, and it worked smooth for me. But honestly, I think either one of them will work great for you. Hopefully that helps you. Let's go to page number 3. Let's see. We got some folks watching from Malaysia. All right. Zaka Productions. Can you recommend Primes over OBS for church live streaming? Honestly, I have not used that. Honestly, that's the first time I've seen that. Are you talking about Prism or live streaming? I'm not. When I look it up, that's not coming up with anything. I think it's Prism. I have not directly in depth used Prism. And if we cut over here so y'all can see what we're talking about, Prism right here is a live streaming platform. And honestly, I have not messed with this. So we may download this and play around. You never know. Thank you for that. I'll download that and we'll play around with that and let's see. And I need to fix my camera real quick, my positioning here for the super source. So let's just show y'all how I do that as well. So this is my placement. I need to slide this over because of my seat. So we're going to change the x-axis to right here. So now I'm in the center. I'm going to change my crop to 9, 10, because I want to fit inside of, because if I turn this off, I'm trying to fit inside this box. So that was 10. I think right is 10 as well too. All right, so now we're good. So I'm center. So hopefully that will work better in the future. But I will play around with this and let y'all know how that goes. We have a bunch of other stuff in the pipeline, folks, that I haven't had a chance to get to. There's a company I'm working with doing some videos. It's called Phone Live Streaming. Great, outstanding tech. Going to be doing a video about that pretty soon. I still have the Panasonic 4K camera that I didn't like how the video turned out, so I'm actually going to re-record that. So I got it right here. This is a 4K PTZ here. Really cool. Very high quality. I wanted to have a better way of capturing everything, and I was going to probably put it up at my church as a sample for everything, so be on the lookout for that as well too. Let's see, where did we leave off at? Page 3. Got that question. Kenny Lester here. Good morning. Using an A10 Mini Pro and vMix, how can I display the cameras onto the TV screen during the service? Also, how can I play videos with sound on the TV screens during the service? Well, I'm kind of doing that right now. So if I take this down, and what camera is that where you can see it? Well, actually, I'll cut over to the PTZ. You should be able to see that here. So in here, I have my system. Oh, wrong direction. I have my streaming system right up. Went way too far. My streaming system is right there, and it's picking up my Mac right now. That's what's handling everything. That middle, the middle into the farthest one to the right, that is handling the system. The stream that y'all are, it's sending the stream to the web presenter right now. Now, what I am doing, that is connecting. You see my mess on the floor. That's why I always hide it. That is sending this to this portable screen right here just so I can see it. I have it sent a straight mix of whatever is going out so I can see your comments, everything big right here. And then I have my stuff here. So with vMix, what I have is my computer has my old RTX 2070 in the system, and it has 5 independent outputs. So I have the 2 outputs that are on the screen. The third output is here on this multiple monitor, and then that's it. I'm not in. And the fourth one is being sent to my web presenter. So inside of vMix, you can use a external output, and I still have my picture on. Let me see. Do I still have vMix on this system so I can show you? I hope I do. As you can see, vMix is right here. Let me bring it up. Yay, so I can do it. So let me bring this over so y'all can see. So inside of here, you're going to go here to external, and you can do outputs. Wait for it to show up. And you can pick the output of what it's doing. You're going inside the settings and say, what is your output? Which one of your monitors is it? Where's it at? Decoders, external monitor. Yeah, so normally you would have a device here. This one is not registered. That's why it's not showing it. But you would pick the device, and it would go through, how many other outputs that you have. So on that system, it shows 5. So I would pick which one is the right monitor, and I can say, oh, this output is going to do whatever. And in here, I check. You have 2 outputs. I have like this output right now. I can say, oh, show the output, show a specific one. So I used to have nothing but the comments going that way. And that shows your video. Now, when you want to play audio, that's something different because your computer, you have to have some type of software that handles sending audio for different outputs. So I'm not 100% aware of how to just send audio to one screen while it's being completely independent from something else. I'm sure that's available. I just am not aware of how to do that. But setting up the external monitors, as long as your computer has that many outputs, you can pick in vMix which one you want it to go to. So this screen here shows me the full master out. I used to only let it show the comments, but that was when I had a small monitor. Now that I have a bigger one, I can do nothing but the small comments if I wanted to. But I like to have this camera right here so I can see that I'm in a line instead of me looking over here at the multi-view. So hopefully that helps. I mean, that's a lot. Let me know if y'all want me to do another deep dive on vMix and answer some other questions, because I mean, it's so much stuff in media, which I think is cool, media ministry, that, I mean, this stuff, we can make content for days about stuff. So hopefully, just want to do some stuff to help you out. Now, Daniel actually pulled this question down, but my vMix social still shows it. His question was, does anyone know of any grants to help with media ministry? So, Pastor Daniel, what I would really recommend is look at Reverend Art's video from our e-missionary conference. He talked about that, and also hit him up on the Facebook group and ask him about that. He has a lot of information about that. Again, I don't know everything, but that's what the Facebook group is for. It's for us to work together collectively, because I don't know everything. I'm not supposed to know everything, but collectively, we can all work together and move everyone forward. So if anybody here in the chat knows that, please send that out and we can help out everything. Let's see. Chris is saying, hearing noise on the front of house every time I turn on the video on Zoom. Are audio from RCA out from the board to the A10 Mini? I've had some issues with that. That's why I kind of stay away from the RCA now if it's for a long run. And I know I'm getting ready to have that for a ministry that I'm going to be fixing. That's what the system is for right now, for a ministry that I'm going to be doing here in a smaller ministry here in Richmond. And their sound system is the classic sound system. It's in the podium on the pulpit, but the media is all the way in the back. So we need to run a cable that distance. So I have this Balun that I've used before. So one end is RCA, but it turns it into Ethernet, and then the other side is Ethernet and turns it into a 3.5. That's actually what I use for my speaker here. Now, what's really happening, at least most of the times I've done that, the longer the cable, especially if it's around a bunch of other electronics, that cable starts acting as an antenna, and it starts picking up grounding noise. It might even pick up radio waves. And most of the time I've solved that by going to a XLR or 1/4 inch to 3.5 heavier cable to shield it. And then with this, what I'm doing is using a shielded Ethernet cable for this to see if that works. If that doesn't work, I'm converting it old school, and I'm just running an XLR cable from the front all the way to the back. So that's what that is. That's my assumption when I've come across that. If anybody else has come across something like that, please let us know, and we can see if we can help him out with that. Let's see. That was page 3. Let's go to page 2. One Book Club wants to know, what do you recommend for acoustic treatment in a large space? Well, it all depends. You have, I wish I could do something here, but since I don't own this place, I'm renting it, I can't put anything on the walls. But for me, when I actually get my house with my studio, they have, I don't know the brand, but they were going to be like black and red to match my aesthetics of what I'm doing. But they're like acoustic like wall covers that are like foam with carpet that will absorb everything. There's a big carpet here on the floor here that absorbs a lot that you're seeing without the junk that I have here. So this joystick is well, not the joystick. My camera is very sensitive. I switched over to a 12x PTZ camera, and I gave my 20x to the ministry that I'm actually going to be installing. But I have carpet here that absorbs that. So those acoustic treatments on the walls, we're actually thinking about doing something like that at Signs and Wonders because of the sound that's going on there. Those are the only ones I've done. Now, if you want to do some hacks, I've seen people, and I've done it originally. I put blankets on the floor so that you kind of mess up the hard surfaces so it has something to absorb it. But again, that all depends on the space. Let me know some details about the space and we can see what we can do. Um, so I see somebody was saying they can't hear. I have carpet here that is okay. I can hear me. So maybe that was an old comment. Mousy. My NDI video and audio have become out of sync in OBS. I tried to adjust the off sync, but it's not fixing the problem. Any suggestions? What happened, Mousy, that started? What's the thing that you can pinpoint of what started it to be out of sync? Also, what are the specs that are running? What's the stats of when you're running OBS? What is your CPU utilization is at? Because we want to, most of the time, when you're getting out of sync, it's normally the system can't handle it. Or if you're using NDI and sending everything over the network, maybe some traffic is slowing down the data, the encoding and the decoding of that. What can you, has it always been like that or just all of a sudden? Let me know, and then we can try and troubleshoot that. Let's see. Let me go to some of the questions that made it into the Q&A here. Already answered those two. Leroy wants to know, and I can't pull this up here. He says, how can I stream a funeral, for example, from another YouTube page to mine using OBS software? Now, there's a couple of ways you can do that. Do y'all want the MacGyver way? That's the only way I can do it right now. Let me minimize all of this stuff so I can get back to my desktop. And y'all don't have to worry about spamming the questions. I got y'all. And we'll go from there. It seemed like a bunch of other stuff showed up in here as well too. So if you're sending them, I got you. I'm working my way through them. So first, let's go ahead and open up OBS. And let me move this over to the screen here. And all of my fonts are out of whack right now. So say we want to use this live stream. And well, actually, let me use my churches. So it's a couple of ways that you can do that. If it's live, this will work for either one. So I want to use a page that I own so that I don't get hit in any type of way. I'm going to use last Sunday's live stream. And I'm going to copy that link. So what we're going to do is let's make a new collection. And I'm really not liking the font. Hey, did y'all notice that Windows 11 did an update and now everything is all rounded and stuff like that? I hate when they do just random stuff like that, and OBS just hung for me. All right, so what we're going to do is add, you got two things. You can do a browser window, and you can put the link directly in there. And we want to make sure that we're capturing the audio. So if I come in here, now I don't know if y'all can hear that, but the audio is there. So I don't like this because obviously it's capturing. I need to make this full screen, and I need to actually change the settings. So we're just like 1920 by 1080. So it takes up the full screen. Let's transform it, fit the screen. You know, we got something like this. Now I want to interact with the page so I can make it full screen. So something like this could work. And I don't know if you're hearing the audio. I am, but I think that's just from here. So let's make sure that we can capture the audio. Let's do a audio input capture. And all right, that ain't gonna do. That's capturing me right now. Normally, you would allow you to capture your audio of whatever window. Oh, the control audio via OBS. So there we go. So right now, I'm capturing everything here, and I can just pull the window of whatever the stream is from whatever channel, and now I'm capturing it verbatim, and now I just stream, and that's it. That's the easiest way that you could do that. Please make sure if you're doing that even if, make sure you get the permission from whoever that's doing it so that you don't have any issues with it. But that's right now, I'm capturing the audio just from this browser window, just made it full screen from YouTube, Facebook, any of these platforms, you can work. Just be very careful. I'm going to tell you something I did wrong. When I learned this back in the day, I did this for the time, and I was streaming a football game from TV. I was capturing the TV of a game, and my wife at the time, she was working. And so I was streaming it to her privately so she could watch the game when she was at work. And I got quickly hit because even if it's private, if you don't own it, you get in trouble. So that's what I learned. That's why I don't do that anymore. So hopefully that helps. And so let me stop this. All righty. So let's see if we can go through some of these other questions here. We got the Lord's Church, South Chesterfield, Virginia. That's in the area. This is going to pop up for y'all, but it won't show up here on the screen. So it was like, hi, AJ, we have, and how can I do this so that y'all can see it? And why is that window not moving? There you go. Let me just do it this way. And I guess I should have made another super source for this. And that's way too small. Y'all can't see that. All right. So it was, hi, AJ. We've had Sunday school via Zoom over the last couple of years. Is there a good way or a good mic that I can pick up voice for people in the building about 4 to 5 views back? I actually have this at my church. We haven't turned it back on because I need to have a separate stream. But the Audio Technic mic is what I'm using for a crowd mic at my church. Trying to find the exact one that I use. I'm going through my Amazon history. And it was a shotgun mic. There it goes. Yeah, it was the Audio Technica AT875R. Hold on one second. I'm expecting the other package for the ministry that I'm working on. I thought somebody was at the door. But this is the mic that I use, and this is set up to point down at the congregation. And when I was using it, I'm able to get people 10 rows back, and it works really great for directional. When we had Bible study, it was able to pick them up. But then when the intention was, when we're not doing anything to get crowd noise, this captures everybody in the sanctuary. This is what I use. So I will put a link down below if you're interested in that. And I thought I did a video about that. If I didn't, I will make sure I do a follow-up for y'all. And where is my chat? There it is. Crowd mic. Now, this mic does need phantom power. So if you're plugging it into your board, you just have to turn that on to give it power, and you should be good. Let me go to this other questions here. We did that. Sugar Mama Smiles was asking, select question. How do I save the Facebook Live? I go live on the iPad, but can't save it on my iPad. I mean, I don't think you can physically save it on the iPad unless you download it, but it is existing on the channel. So like, for example, if I open up Facebook and go to my church's page, and I'm bringing it up first. Come on. All right. So we're here on the page. Those videos are, and man, Facebook's always changing some extra stuff. I think it was under Creator Studio that they moved it to, because it used to be a video tab directly. Oh, there it goes, videos. So all of your stuff is saved here. Now, if you're an admin on that, let me open up Creator Studio just to make sure it's not there. But right here, yeah, they did move it. Let me see what happens with it. Because you can download it. It used to be that you downloaded the videos and Facebook wouldn't give you the high quality version. It would only give you a 720p version of the stream. And adding all this new stuff. Get out of here. Okay. Gosh. So here's the most recent one. That was the Bible study that we did. And where did they put it? It used to be an option where you can download it, but it doesn't look like Creator Tools. No. File management. Your assets, man. Man, I need to do a deep dive. They changed this stuff. I wonder who they're doing a focus group on this stuff, because this stuff is changing. I don't know. All your clips. And it's taking forever to load. It used to be, okay, now they're giving tools to make reels from that. I don't know, to be quite honest. This is taking way too long to load, so I'm not 100% sure. You used to be able, first off, if you stream to Facebook, your stuff is there. And it's there as an archive unless you intentionally deleted it. Let me see the published. Maybe that's it. There we go. That's better. All right, so we're under published. We have our videos here. So now, there you go, and they did change it. So I can come in here under Creator Studio, go to Published, go to Videos, or Live Videos, should be the same thing, and you can download your video there. You can edit the post. You can expire it, which is what I used to do. You can create a post again to push it back up. So there's your info there. Man, Facebook, that was a deep dive to try and get to it, but I don't know. Hopefully that helps. Let's see. Let me go back to another question here. I see y'all here. Aaron, what's going on? Drago, hello. Paul Mario Genesis, hello. Dustin, hello. All the people that jumped in. Vaughn, hello. Thank you so much for jumping in. Kurt, what's going on? Rhonda, hello. Thank you so much for everything. Jumping in. And again, just to let y'all know, y'all are commenting on that again, we are every 10,000 subscriber goal that we hit. So the next one is going to be 60,000. We're going to be doing a $2,000 live streaming giveaway, which consists of the A10 Mini Extreme, a PoE switch, a IP PTZ joystick, and a 20X PTZ camera from AVCans. So that's what's going on. And if you want to be involved, go to this link right here. It's already in the chat. I guess I should have pinned it, but it's there. And then all you got to do is enter once. But honestly, the goal is to let more people in the media ministry in your church do it. And again, it's a goal, meaning that this ain't happening until the channel grows. All right. So to be a part of it is highly recommended that you join the Facebook group. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have bell notifications on. That way you're going to be notified when we do the giveaway, because anybody who's been around long enough, when we do the giveaway, we give 16 hours for people to respond. And a bunch of people have missed out because they didn't respond. So be mindful of that. All right. Now, let me go back to the other questions here. Got that. Answered that question. Dustin wants to know, I have been the media ministry leader at my church for a year now. There's such resistance to digital technology upgrading. Ultimately, it is blocking God's will. What is your advice for this situation? All righty. If anybody knows me, we've already get on my little stool right now. I use this platform to try and help. This is my ministry. All right. And I try not to throw a lot. My belief in being a Christian is not trying to bash people upside the head with the Bible. I try and live it. So with that being said, now let's go into some biblical stuff. The Great Commission says to go to the highways and hedges, I'm paraphrasing it, to share the gospel with man. It didn't say to stay inside, compel everybody to come into our comfy, air-conditioned, heated building, because that's what I'm used to. And I'm saying that for a reason. I personally believe the body of Christ has gotten lazy, just like the children of Israel when they got out, they were delivered, they were going to the promised land. They got complacent because change happened and everybody wanted it to be like it used to be. The biggest change that they put in was leaving Egypt. Then when they were challenged with something else. So in other words, a lot of people have challenged the fact with COVID, the pandemic and everything, that everything has changed. Everything. We're not going back to where it is. And again, the only thing that does not change is God. Everything is always changing. So when people are saying to me, when I hear it, and this is the choleric version of me that I kind of suppress because I know sometimes it comes off rude, to think that everything is going to stay the same, you are completely oblivious to what God's principles are. It says, as long as the earth remains, there's always going to be seed time and harvest, meaning there's always going to be growing. Always. When you don't want to move forward in your knowledge, in your technology, in your spiritual growth, in your understanding, anything like that, you're defaultly going backwards and you're opposite of what the whole purpose of us here is. Now, I know that sounds high level, but back to what you're saying, this gift of media ministry is a gift, but it can be exploited by us not using it, just like the parable of the talents. One was given one was given two, one was given five. What happened when the person with the one didn't do anything? AKA, you have the ability to now reach more people than ever before by leveraging media ministry to share the gospel to everyone, as many people as possible, which is our calling. Our calling is not to have a big church with a whole bunch of people sit in a bunch of pews. That is a country club. That is a country club. The goal is not to share the message with the same people who already know it. It's to share the message with people who don't know it. And we're not sending missionaries out like we used to. Some ministries are, but we're not. Media ministry is allowing us to do that without having to send anybody anywhere. We had talked about it before. If you see that there's a possibility to do better, it is our responsibility to do better. So for me, when you're saying there's such resistance to digital technology and upgrading, ultimately is blocking God's will. God's will is going to happen no matter what. People can stand in the way all day long if they want to. I've experienced that personally with ministries that didn't want to go anywhere. Just like, it says, hey, you need to get away from your people. I'm not telling you that. That's what happened with me. I just think that the fact that you are bringing that question in, that obviously God has touched you in a way to know that this is important to you. And I think that you need to just gird yourself up. And I'm of the mindset of, I try to encourage people. I made a change in my channel a long time ago to where I was trying to convince people to do media ministry. That was frustration. Frustration for me is trying to teach people and change a situation that I don't have the power to change. People's will are not going to change. God isn't even going to change anybody's will if they're stubborn. If somebody wants to keep hitting their head against a brick wall and get nothing, let them do it, because you're going to frustrate yourself and waste your time. I think for me is, if you do the best that you can and show the importance of this and how God has given you a vision or gifted you with the ability to do this in media ministry, and if the people around you are not there, I'm not telling you to leave. That's not that. In my prayer for me when I was in that situation, God told me when it was time for me to leave, because I know he blessed me with this skill set to help the ministry who's willing. And he put me in a ministry where that need was needed. So don't try and convince anyone. That is a frivolous effort. Share with them if they choose not to. Just like the message, I don't try to convince anybody to become a Christian. I just share my testimony, and you can do whatever you want to with it after it. Just like with King Agrippa, you almost convinced me with the word of your testimony. Share the message. If they are unwilling to do it, hey, maybe they still have scales on their eyes and it's not meant for you to do that. Maybe you just needed to plant the seed and somebody that's coming behind you is going to help water it, fertilize it, and then the harvest comes to where they're like, you know what, we need to do that. So long answer, but that's where I feel with that stuff. So hopefully that helped, Dustin. But I understand your pain, man. Been there. Kurt has a question here. We're planning to mount 2 TVs in a meeting room for presentations. Any recommendation for an HDMI splitter, Apple TV or Chromecast to feed them wirelessly? Any wisdom on the type of TVs to purchase? Me personally, I've been liking the TCL TVs because they're high quality and they're cheap in comparison. At this point, the tech to make the TV is simple. They're not really changing it. Do you want an OLED? Do you want an LED? Do you want whatever type of technology in the TV? That's kind of at a standard. You're good when it comes to that. At this point now, it's the interface, the type of features, the smart software that comes with the TV. That's really what sets them apart. The Samsung, the Vizios, the TCLs, and all of them, stay away from Westinghouse. They're just poor quality, how they're made. But I have honestly gone with the TCLs because unless a ministry specifically wants a brand of Samsung and LG, I don't get any name brand like that because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything for me. I stick away from wireless only because I like my stuff to be wired so I know that I know it's going to work. Wireless does work. I mean, I do it here at home sometimes, but even then here at home, and I control all the stuff here, I have issues sometimes. I don't want to do that with the person who is not adept at technology. I want it to be a button press for them, and it always works. When it comes to HDMI splitters, this company used to be a sponsor with me. I still work with them. I love Ori's products. I use them. All my splitters that I have on my stuff here are Ori ones. They're good price, and they're just rock solid. That's what I've used. So hopefully that helps ya. Answer that. Reverend Richard has a question as well. And hopefully y'all are seeing that in the chat. Are the PTZ cameras able to display through the HDMI or USB ports into the ATEM? Not through the USB ports. No. Only the HDMI for that. Okay, and I've answered that question already. Kristen Dolrumpf. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Let's see what your question is. If I hook up a PTZ camera via USB, would I get the functionality as if I used HDMI or via a network cable? That all depends. One of the more recent cameras I did, the AVideo1, responded that way. It all depends. Like the Famaco, there is no functionality with the USB. That USB is just for firmware updates, and it doesn't do any control. Make sure when you look at the camera, see what it is. And for the most part, the ones that I've used, they have functioned and given me the same functionality on all the outputs. And I'm drilling through these other questions I see here, folks. So let me, did that one. All right, I'm gonna save these last 3 questions on the Q&A stuff. And then let me see where we left off here. So I see y'all are saying that y'all like the giveaway. Hopefully that, really helps a bunch of folks. So Drago here. We're switching out our Allen & Heath Z24 to the Wing. Can you provide a list of all the cables, stage boxes, and DAW needed? DAW, I am not that familiar with. I would recommend you be on the Facebook group and reach out to the Chuck Taylor. He knows a lot about that. Honestly, from stage cables and stage boxes, that really is dependent on how you want everything to be connected. So for me, if you have a keyboard or anything like that, you want to have a direct box to go from a 1/4-inch cable to the direct box, and then the direct box goes into XLR, into your jacks, on into your stage box. The Wing is by Behringer's. You can use the S16s or the equivalent one. They're all the same. that you can do. The Midas ones, all of them are exactly the same. That will work, the same functionality. You just need to know, and it's kind of hard for me to answer this because I need to know how many channels you're actually going to be using, that you're going to be using your stage boxes for, what type of instruments you're using, what type of mics and everything like that. But typically, I mean, it's just a bunch of XLR cables. Sometimes you might have to convert it over to a 1/4 inch if you really need to, or go from a 1/4 inch, convert it back to XLR, female or male, whichever one, and like that. But I mean, like I said, it's kind of hard for me to not know exactly everything that was hooked up to that Allen and Heath Z24. Obviously, I'm assuming the Z24 is 24 channels. You go into that. The wing is 32, and if you add another stage box, that's probably going to add another 16 or 32, whatever you decide to use. So it's kind of hard for me to tell you exactly what's needed for that. Aaron, on the new ATEM constellations, how do you assign the various outputs? I have not used the new constellation yet, but I'm assuming that most of the outputs are configured under the output display that gives you more the settings. I'm stumbling over what I'm saying. If I go here in the constellation, you should have some more outputs for all of these, and you would assign whatever the output is. So like for right now, my output number 2 is the multi-view that you see over here. So if I change that to the camera, if I do that, see, now you see this, and that's from the output setting. So let me change that back from this. I'll change it back to the multi-view. So if I do that, now you see that. That will give you your output. So with like with the ATEM SDI, which is in the closet over there, it has 4 outputs, so I can pick all of them from that standpoint. So hopefully that helps. That's what it should be. I'm assuming, because most of the time Blackmagic doesn't introduce something completely different. Most of the functionality from the lower versions, as you go to higher ones, they just add more drop downs for you to get to it. So try that first. If that's not it, let me know, and we'll do some more research to find that out for you. So like I said, Parker was asking, how's the Tesla? Loving it. Loving it. I've been taking a whole lot of people. I haven't did my first video on the Tesla Smile channel that I have. I've just been busy, folks. I mean, it's to try and balance. I want to do other channels. I have a channel with my friend Maya that we were going to do called Travel Partners, since we were travel partners when we were working together and stuff like that. YouTube is serious. Like, this isn't just something that you just throw some stuff up. Monty, I know, can attest to this. Anybody else that's on YouTube. It is a full-time thing. So to try and add some more stuff, I mean, I need a team to help with some other stuff. And I'm actually looking at, I bumped into a video editor when I was on my last cruise, and maybe looking at bringing him on because I need to offload a lot of the stuff. So you know what? Let me take a second to talk about that. And I was going to do this in a video, and I still might do this. A lot of y'all are in media ministry, and I think the frustration, one of the hardest things for me, and I talked about this on our Zoom call, one of the hardest things for me is when you have such a vision of what you want to do, but you physically can't do it. That is the frustrating thing for me, to align myself with people who have the same heart, because I'm not a warlord and I want to crack the whip on people, but I have a very distinct vision of what I want and what I want to accomplish. Just like when I was in choir, I was very strict in what I did because I did stuff on purpose. When I ran choir rehearsal, you didn't come in late. If you did, you better keep your mouth shut and don't announce yourself. If choir rehearsal starts at 7, that means you're here at 6:50. And we don't do late. If you're late, be quiet. I don't repeat, and you better learn by osmosis because you came in late. Now, for me, that's the same attitude that I have with media ministry. I had this young lady I was talking to. She was just like, at church, she was like, man, I just saw you just bouncing around and this, and this. Because I'm like, when I'm at church, my mission and my mindset is I need to make sure this media is right, because I don't need anybody. I don't want to be a stumbling block for anyone when it comes to hearing the message. That's where my focus is. So some people who don't know me, it might come off like AJ's a jerk. No, AJ's not a jerk. AJ's just intentional and serious about what he's doing. This is not a game. These are people's lives. This is their internal life that they're playing with. That's why when y'all ask me a question, I will do the most that I possibly can to try and help you get that stuff working so that you can reach anybody that you do. But you email me and you waste my time, which I'm never going to get back. Oh, I got a real problem with that. But I say all that to say that there's so much stuff that if y'all ever feeling the point where you're frustrated, like, how come I can't get this? It's mutual. Just because I got this in YouTube and this, and this doesn't mean I don't still have frustrations and stuff like that and things that I don't accomplish. That's natural. I still deal with the knuckleheads, and I mean that in love, the knuckleheads that are in different authority positions that don't understand this. You know, my thing I used to do is God gave me a vision. When he gave me a vision, he didn't call a conference call. He called me. He didn't call multiple people. So I don't need to explain and get anybody else's permission what God has told me to do. So I don't know where that came from, but I mean, that's just my thoughts about that. And so I know some of y'all, and y'all have sent me messages and emails. I've seen it. Y'all are frustrated, guys. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm frustrated as well too, but we got to keep moving forward. There's something bigger than us and the frustration that we have that we need to accomplish. So just encourage y'all to keep moving, folks. Let's see. All right, we got that giveaway. Let's go to page number 2. Mitch Roy. I'm streaming my church service via the ATEM Mini Pro, but the audio is low. How do we resolve this? Well, first, I was just doing this down in New Hope, Grainsville, down in Oxford, North Carolina. They were having an issue where the audio was garbled. This is my mindset when it comes to trying to troubleshoot everything. Walk the line. First, you're saying that your audio is bad. Is the audio bad in the house? If it's not, okay, that's not the issue. Let's walk it down. Okay, the audio is going into the ATEM. Unplug that cable, hook up headphones to that same cable that's going to the ATEM. Does the audio sound fine? All right, run it to the ATEM. Now in the ATEM, let it, if you're using OBS or something like that, just hook up OBS or whatever, just so you can hear everything. Hook up a hard drive to it to record it for a second. That's what I did down in New Hope. Hook up a hard drive, let them talk for about 5 minutes, just record it, play it raw off of the ATEM. Does it sound good there? In my case, it did sound good. So for us, we realized it was something Facebook was jacking up the audio. So whatever you're doing in your scenario where you're saying the audio is low, see, is it low in all of those settings? If it's fine there, maybe it might be the audio is low on the ATEM and you just need to adjust it. So if you need to do that, we come over here to the ATEM, go to your audio. Like you see my audio right now, you're not hearing the audio from the ATEM. You're hearing the audio coming directly from the Rodecaster because this is way too hot for me. What I would do is throttle this down. This is my input for the mic, and then this is the master out. So I would want to increase it like this. Don't max this out. Don't max that out. I like to keep this to where I'm right in the middle of yellow, not touching anywhere there. Crank. That's where you can change this volume right here, and then go from there and see how that works. Now, if you're hearing everything perfectly fine, if you went through those steps, it might be something else that's causing the issue. So I would suggest you go in that direction. Yeah, thank you, Carries of Covenant. He was saying, thanks for the heads up. Got all the YouTube handles for the ministries that I wanted. Please, folks, if you haven't done it, make sure you go check out your handles. A lot of people have started getting that. It's almost at the point where everybody should have gotten it by now. All of my other channels that I manage for churches have gotten it. Let me see if one of the other churches that I deal with actually has it up. Even all my other YouTube channels that are miscellaneous ones, like the Tesla Smile channel, I had that set up. That's gotten it. This is a new channel that I was telling you about, travel partners that I'm working with one of my friends to develop, and we're just going to be transparent and see if it's here. So the only subscriber is me. This channel was made 2 weeks ago. Now, what we're going to do is go to customization, go to brand basic info, and there we go. It's available for me. So Let's see. Travel part. Travel partners. Let's see if that's available. That's not available. And I'll say, travel partners M&A. See if that's available. See, that's available. So I would go with that. And now that's official. There's our channel. If I go here, look at some other ones, I'm going to go to some other ministries to see if they have theirs. I'll go to Good Shepherd, customize, brand info. All right, they got one. That's good. Let's go to like Formation Sports. My other channel had that. Signs and Wonders, my home ministry. We've since done that as well too. There we go, Signs and Wonders. First Union Baptist Church. Let me see. I don't think they have one. Customization, basic. Yeah, see, they haven't done that. So I'm gonna FUBC. Mechanicsville. See, like that's available, but I need them to pick that. Since they have more people that are active there in the ministry, please don't wait till the last minute and you might miss out on something. So see, some of these other channels that I don't even use have been there. So let's see if Bless This House is there. I think that's the other one that I have not done. So you go to customization, basic info, and Bless This House. See, I got that as well too. So all of my channels that I've ever done are there. So please make sure you do that. Last thing you want to do is have to change up everything because you waited to the last minute and that name is gone. So I got Kurt's question. Pat, and I'm going a little bit longer today, folks, because I know I haven't done anything in a while. So we're gonna be here for a minute, folks. So I'm trying to suppress as many ads as possible because I keep getting the pop up. So it looks like this one is gonna go through. So there you go. Pat was saying, I am considered doing mobile streaming. And most of the cameras I see don't give me the spec I'm looking for. If it's not too intrusive, what's the minimum gear for a still quality stream? Well, I mean, Pat, what do you mean? Like for me, when I do mobile streaming, this is my setup. Mainly, I used to use the Sony camera that is right there, my overhead camera now. But that one has the battery and all that other stuff has not been performing well. So I'm using a Canon G50. That's what I'm using for my camera. I am using the ATEM Mini Pro ISO for what I'm doing for mobile streaming. I have... Of course, when I'm looking for it, not finding it. There it goes. I use my little portable Wi-Fi router, which would give me Wi-Fi, and it has USB on the side, so I can hook my phone up as a tether to get internet if I'm in a location that doesn't have internet, or I can connect it to an actual connection if there's a network there to make it private. And then I use my collection of Rode mics, either a shotgun if it's a crowd, and then I put my Rode wireless on a mic stand. So I'll have the Rode wireless there, and that's dirty. Got a bunch of lint on there. But anyway, I have this on the mic stand. So if I'm doing somebody that's talking like a graduation, I will Velcro zip tie this to the mic stand or have it in a mic stand that's right there so I can pick up the mic and I don't have to put it on a person. It's right there. That's my setup. So this will be low for the crowd and maybe I'm on the camera and have it mounted on the cold shoe on the G50 pointed back. That picks up the audio there. I have this for a speaker, and that's kind of the predominant audio, and I balance between them depending on what event is going on. I've done this for weddings. When it's a wedding, I normally don't put it like this. I put this mic on the officiant because they're the person that's in the center of a wedding. So it will catch the bridegroom right there. And then most of the time, if there's a mic setup, I haven't brought it yet, but I could bring the Rodecaster or a smaller mixer if I want to bring in a feed from whatever, if there's music or anything like that. That is my go-to because all of this can fit inside of a bag. When I used to do my mobile setup, I took a whole computer with me and I put it in a suitcase. So that's my mobile setup. So hopefully that helps. If you want any more details, please let me know. I've been meaning to do a video about what I do for my mobile streaming as well because somebody asked me. That's another video that's coming. Reverend Richard was saying, love being on the back of the install trail with you. Keep those videos coming. Thank you. I actually had a lot more to that video, but I need to send that to the ministry and make sure they're approving because I wanted to show y'all like the process of when I talk through with stuff. So I don't know if that would help when you're trying to quote unquote convince or educate people who don't know anything about the stuff. So like this ministry, Wells Chapel, they wanted to know how come I mount the cameras upside down. And I just did that explaining that, in the range of motion, when the camera's up here, if you tilt down, you're missing everything that's out under here. I flip it upside down. So now I have all the motion because why do you want to have the motion up here? Because now you're going to be staring at the ceiling. Why would you need to stare at the ceiling? You're wasting all of that roaming space. That's why I flip it upside down. So now when I'm tilting down, I can get the people who are standing right under it. I can get anybody in the direction, and all the range of motion is actually going to be used because when would you ever need to be staring at the ceiling? That's why most of the time I have my cameras pointed upside down. Team RHO, thank you so much. Hey, this has been a work in progress to get all of this here. This actually would used to be my old TV upstairs, and if y'all saw all my old videos, that LED strip that's falling off the TV, that used to be my background accent. So I'm actually working at trying to change a bunch of my stuff up. But hey, you see, it's a lot of stuff here, and I am thankful to God for just to start from just a webcam to where I'm at right now. Is like I give nothing but God the credit for it. And I'm not just saying that to try and sound holy roller, man. It's like the last couple of days, God has just been answering so many things that I've been praying for so long that it's to the point where blessings have come. I'm pinching myself thinking that somebody's playing a prank on me, that I've written and prayed about stuff that I've told no one about. And then it's happened. I am overwhelmed in just thankfulness and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. All right, we answered that question. Coach, what's going on? Good morning. Just tuning in. Has OBS newest update been fixed? I saw that recent update. The NDI plugin that I currently use in the old one still is not working, but somebody said that there's a new OBS NDI plugin. I'm gonna try that out to see how that's working. So hopefully they got it straight because I'm still using 2740 or whatever it is at my church. Looking to upgrade pretty soon. Bruce, have them also try the iron cores and clip-ons to reduce hum. 2 to 3 wraps should help. Have done this in a ham radio car many times. Awesome. So again, working out with everybody else, learning how to do that stuff. Those are like those little things that you can put on the wires. Hopefully that helps as well too. Jean, welcome back, AJ. How was your vacation? My vacation was awesome. I'm gonna try and dance around this issue, but that ship was very welcoming of different cultures and inclinations. I'll just leave it at that. It was very relaxing to have adults only, and there were no kids at all. That was interesting to say. Interesting as in good. the ship was not as active as I'm used to on Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Speaking of Royal Caribbean, did y'all see that they dropped a brand new ship, the Icon of the Seas, that holds 10,000 people? Man, that let me show you. Where's that? Where that thing at? Where that thing at? Like this thing right here. Ooh, so dogs. This, man, do you understand? Let me go full screen. This thing is serious. I mean, look at all them activities on there. And then I'm excited. And that jumps on 2024. Ooh, wait. Hey, you never know. The next E-Missionary cruise is probably going to be on that one. But anyway, the vacation was awesome. And I say that to say, and where is it? Is it picture? Yeah. So that reminds y'all, folks, hey, if you still want to go on the E-Missionary cruise on the Liberty of the Seas, y'all can still book. All that information is on the Facebook group. It's April 24th through the 28th, leaving out of Fort Lauderdale. Guys, we're going to have a blast. Again, we ain't going to have no meetings and nothing like that. It's just meant to actually meet, hang out, and just, get to know the other people who are in the battle with you in media ministries in different locations. And if I could set it up to where I can rent out the entire ship and invite all of y'all and pay for it, I'm not just saying that. I really wish I could. You never know. And the fact that I have a vision for that, you never know. It actually might happen. Actually will happen. Let me rephrase that. But looking forward to it. That's the vacation. I really highly recommend all of y'all. Y'all have been working so hard in the media ministry. Please take time to recoup, because, I mean, that's what I've needed. I'm pushing the limit, and I've reached the limit of what I can do. And I really need to, like, Dee helps me out a lot. Once a week, she 1 week a month, she blocks out my calendar so I don't have anything going on, just so I can recoup from everything. Because when you're constantly pouring, sometimes you get empty. Take the time to refresh and recoup, folks. Lee, hello. Hey, you're welcome. I'm glad to be of help. Back to Mousy was having an issue with the NDI. It wasn't always like that. I can't pinpoint what happened. Should I do NDI source timing? CPU usage is very low. If the CPU usage is low, see if anything is going on with your network. Also, if you have an opportunity, try and test it with nobody's there. And then I don't know your network setup. If that's something shared, maybe it was on that day, somebody was just tanking your connection and it was slowing it down. That's the only thing I think. Try and remove everything as much as possible and see if you don't know exactly what caused the issue. Try and slowly build up until you can replicate it. Put it in the perfect ideal situation. It's just you, nothing else is on. See if that works, and then slowly ramp it up to see what's going on. J-Style 3, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And he's also asking everybody, has anyone encountered the ATEM switcher to overheat and shut down? Yes, I actually have. The old ATEM, if you don't give it enough room to breathe, you might have that issue. So that's like kind of like in my setup right now. You see my ATEM right now. I don't have anything beside it. Anything where the vents are, I need to have it clear to where a lot of air can flow through and it has space to do what it needs to do. Don't put it in an area that's enclosed in any way, shape, or form. The old ATEM, the very, very old one, that was a gray 1U rack that had fins. People would overheat because no one would put a fan on it. They would leave it on. Next version had a fan built into it that helped. But with this has fans too. Don't obstruct the air in any way, shape, or form. Don't put it in an enclosed area. And I've seen that happen, but it was every time they closed off the circulation of the airflow with that. Otis, what's going on, sir? We got a whole bunch of Texas folks represented today. Philip Paul, AJ, does the 1080p web presenter have a loop out for video feedback? Yes, for video feed. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So yeah, Lamar, you're the one that I saw the comment that was referencing that. No, I have not used the new OBS NDI plugin yet, but I will try that out. My streaming system behind here, I just updated to the latest version of OBS 28.12, and I'm gonna see how that stuff is working. Also, another update, folks. If y'all are using Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve, they did a massive update that I just used, and it's really really cool. Let me open it up and show you. If you haven't, why is my font just out of control on this computer? Let me close a bunch of this. I don't know what in the world is going on this computer. My like font and scaling is just out of control. But anyway, if I come over here, see like this, I don't know why it's doing all of this. But when you normally do a delivery, and I don't like the fact that it's doing this. Why are you doing that to me? And I can't shut this off because it's going to kill my stream. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it or not. Anyway, we got to do what we got to do. So normally when I stream, I pick 4K, and you can put your title here when you're exporting, and then you set everything. And I've used this for a while. I'll use markers inside of my edit inside of here, and then I can turn those into chapters by just checking this off. They now added where you can check off and upload your thumbnail here, and DaVinci Resolve will send all of that to YouTube. So now I used to upload this and then go back into YouTube, put my thumbnail, do all this other stuff, but now I can do everything here: the title, the description, the markers, and the thumbnail. The only thing they don't have right now, and honestly, based on how they're doing, is putting in keywords, even though keywords are not important anymore on YouTube. But I mean, I really like this, that you can put your image there and it just sends everything up. That is the most recent update. I think is, what version is that? Yeah, 18.1 build 16. And that's, I'm using Studio, but that is for any of the DaVinci Resolve. That makes stuff super easy, and I'm gonna have to restart my computer. I don't know what's going on with my font and everything getting out of control. All right, back to J Style with it overheating. He was saying, I bought, he was saying that well, hold on. I missed this other previous comment here. He was saying that his has gotten really hot sometimes. It shuts down in the middle of the live stream, and even bought a simple USB fan and fixed it to the desk, just a couple of pins. Since then, no issues. Yeah, I would check your airflow, and the fact that you did that, that's the reason why y'all don't see it. That's why I have this fan here. It's mainly for me, but this is what I used to use when I had the full version of the ATEM that was in the case, a flight case. I had this in the back of the flight case, just blowing air into there, until I bought USB fans to mount in the back. So, yeah. Chad McAllister, do you have a recommendation for a choir mic? The choir is 5 to 10 people in size. I am currently using the Rode NT5, but it picks up the entire stage and we get feedback easily. Just for the choir mic. So is the intention just to have one? You just reminded me of something. I was waiting to hear back from a church that I need to do choir mics for them. Did I send that to them? I just realized, like I said, I got too much stuff going on that I'm forgetting about. I'm opening up my invoices to make sure I make a mental note that I need to send that to them. Let me actually do it now. Whew, man, so much stuff. But thank y'all for that. I guess I need to know the room. Do you want that one mic to do all of it, like the NT5, or did you want to do something different? That just reminded me, like, I'm getting ready to do hanging mics back at Guilford. That's what I forgot that I didn't send on to them. But that's what I'm thinking. But let me know, and we'll give an answer in that direction. Mr. Castro here. With the recent OBS update, my lower thirds is not working. I followed your video to assure I had everything unblocked, but it's still not working. If you're on version 28, that's a part of it. 28 has made a lot of the stuff not work. If you want those lower thirds to work, Actually, did we get it working with that newer version? Let's see. I'm opening this up right now, and my fonts are out of control. All right, so we're updating to the latest version. We'll see. I'm gonna see if we can get the lower thirds working. So we'll come back to that one for you. Philip Paul again. Hey AJ, what would you prefer to stream the service in own normal account or a church Facebook account? I don't do any of the stuff on my personal. I always do it on the church's stuff. Nathan. From the question earlier about Facebook Live videos being downloaded, is there a software I can use to edit it, cutting the video link, stripping the audio? I use DaVinci Resolve. That's for me because it's completely free. You could use any of Mac. You can use the iMovie if you want to. There's a bunch of stuff. You can use free applications like, what's that new one? I just did it. I can't remember the name. It's a Windows one on the store that's free. I don't recall the name of it right now. It's not CapCut. Clipchamp, that's what it's called. You can download that and you can do those same functions with that. Streets of Destiny. I plan to set up a consultation with you. Planning to purchase the A10 Mini Pro. Is it best to have the A10 do encoding to OBS or feed OBS to A10 with all other inputs and stream to restream? Well, if you get the A10 Mini, honestly, if your system is not there, let the A10 handle that because it's built for the streaming. That's what I always use. Now, in my setup right now, my A10 Mini stream is not doing any live streaming. My my vMix is not doing the live streaming. The web presenter is doing the streaming. So for me, it's still the same type of codec, but it's the 4K version that the A10 the web presenter is using. It's the same type of technology just inside the A10. I kind of leverage all of that. The only time I add software, just like right now, I added the software to put these wonderful graphics up on here because the A10 natively can't do that. I wish they would, and then I can get rid of a bunch of the stuff. That's just me. If you're using the A10 Mini Pro, let it do the live streaming because it's going to be way more stable than anything else. And at least in my practice, it was. Back to J Style. Oakwood Church in Taunton, UK, we almost doubled the attendance since we started live streaming. It is not about technology, it's about Jesus. So, brother, amen. Hey, completely agree, completely. Back to Dustin now. Again, I'm catching up with the comments. So that was like my little mini rant. Amen. Thank you very much. You're saying everything that God is telling me. Hey, keep doing it, man. Keep doing it, dude. When I did this, everybody thought I was crazy when I did this. And 4 years later, look at where we're at. No, 5 years later, look at where we're at. God is not a man that he would lie. I trust him way more than I trust what other people would say about this and that. All right, so it looks like OBS has been installed and the updated version. So I'm trying to get, I don't know what's going on with my fonts and everything. It's just completely out of whack. So this stuff is way bigger than it should be. So I don't exactly know why it's doing this. So I'm trying to find how to get my lower thirds and all this other stuff showing. But the font is so big, I can't really see where everything is. And I can't even resize it down. I need to restart the computer to make that change. And I can't do that while I'm streaming right now. So sorry about that one. I can't get back. And I do have another computer with OBS, but that's handling what y'all are seeing right now. So I can't bring that up right now. So I'm going to have to follow back up with y'all on that one. I may actually do a live stream tomorrow because my old church, Antioch, I'm actually, they had hired me, my company, to handle their media ministry, but I am training them to hand everything back off to them. So I'm going to actually be doing a training with them from 9 until 11 tomorrow. And I really think that what we can learn from that in general is I want to help y'all But again, the intention is always think, who are we training to replace us? Because we don't want to repeat the habit of people that stay in a position of leadership and they just stay there until they're irrelevant anymore. We should always be looking for our next person to train them up to replace us. It's not about us. It's about making sure that we propagate all this, the importance and the mindset of why we do this on in our skill set. So I want to try and document and show you what my process is when I'm trying to train another media ministry. And I have a bunch of videos that I'm going to be doing, which are meant for anybody, but mainly they're meant for the churches that I've installed. Because that video where I was announcing the giveaway, it was me talking about 10 of the basic tricks that I've used to solve most of the common issues with a live stream. And I want to do more videos as reference, quick reference content to help if you're in the middle of service, because I get calls on Sunday and sometimes I can help, sometimes I can't because I'm in the middle of service. I want this to be some quick references to help you solve an issue. So be on the lookout for those type of videos. But also, everybody, keep in the mindset, how can I train and pass on my wisdom to somebody else so that if you decide to go on vacation or you decide to leave or whatever, the people that are coming behind you, my mindset is when I leave a location, the location is better than it was before I got there. You know, that's my mindset. So just want to impart that with y'all as well, too, to keep that on the lookout. Philip Paul, I have uploaded a few pics of Draw.io setup to the Facebook group. One pic is the present setup. The other pic are the plan of the church or the upgrades. Any thoughts? I'm going to have to look back at that. I have not had a chance to look at that. I will follow back up with you on Facebook for that. Back to Streets of Destiny. Another note, I'm preparing for pastor to do a Facebook Live offsite once the show in Sanctuary. I have OBS and X32. You could always try OBS Ninja, which I've been meaning to test out. I played around with it originally when it was in beta, and I have not touched it in a while. But I think that will work. Monty, I knew it. He was there talking about that comment. Yes, YouTube is work. Man, Monty, please drop the link to your class here, dude. If you're still on, please drop that. I want to share that with everybody. He's got some awesome stuff. Monty's got a wealth of wisdom, folks. If y'all are trying to turn this, what we're doing, into something that's more profitable to bring some income, please hit up Monty, hit his channel up. Dude's got tons of wisdom, man. He's got a class, a workshop that you can join. I want to share his and promote his stuff there. So please drop that, Monty, please. DJ Big Stage, I think. Good morning. For a church without a huge budget, what would be an expected starting cost to set up ministry? I have my video about that. That's the reason why I was doing that other video about doing the donation of that. For me, I used to do a video called Start Live Streaming for $1,000. You know what? Let's just do it live. Let's do it live, Howie. If I was going to do this from beginning to end, what would I do? So let me actually go into incognito window so it doesn't bring up any stuff I've ordered. And that made it worse because it just popped up a whole bunch of bras and stuff like that incognito on here. So let me go back. Bras and stuff like that for Amazon. That's what came up. So anyway, let's go over here. So what would I do if I was doing this all over? What would I recommend? Now, I don't like the A10 Mini Pro, even though it's dropped in price, because I'm thinking future. Remember, the A10 Mini Pro is going to give you the multi-view or an output for the screen. I think that now at the price, it may be cheap enough to where you still use it for like a conference room or something like that. So I'm against my better judgment. I would use that because we're talking about getting started. Any equipment we buy, we're always going to repurpose. We're not just going to throw the stuff away. So we're going to go to the A10 Mini Pro. Please don't buy it on Amazon because these sellers are not adjusting the price. The A10 Mini Pro retail price is $295. It is not $399. So if I went here to BH Photo, because they keep their stuff legit, that's the one that I actually ordered one for. See, it is retail $295. Don't buy this from Amazon. So just realize this is actually $295. So we're going to subtract $100 from this price to justify this. So we'll use this. We ain't using a protection plan. What's the next thing? If we did a camera, so we're at $295. A camera that I would use, because honestly, at this point now, camcorders are getting PTZ cameras are actually getting cheaper than camcorders. Don't use any of these. These are trash. Don't use any of them at all. What I would use in some type of setup, let me see. Sony still has some lower price ones. So these HDR CX240s, these are good. This is kind of like what I started with. The low light is not good, but if you have something, this will get you up and going. So I would use something like this. And let me make sure what type of cable that was. Now, if I would recommend you getting something where you're connecting to your board. So I'll do a dual XLR to 3.5, similar cable like this. They have an equivalent one if you're using a 1/4 inch around the exact same price. 1/4 inch cable, so that'll be dual 1/4 inch to 3.5. So that's going for $14.99. This is actually going for $10.99, so it's a little bit cheaper. You can actually go for a 10-foot, and it's the exact same price. We go for that. That will give you audio directly from your board. And then again, if you don't have that, you can also go RCA to 3.5. Something like this as well too. And this one is actually shielded. Oh, they got a 40-foot one. Wow. So you can go with something like this. This will give you video, and we need a HDMI mini to HDMI cable. No, it's HDMI micro. So we need something like this to send the feed from the camera over to the ATEM and get a long enough cable that compensates for however length that you need. You realize you can't go over 20 feet because the quality will degrade. So I'll say like this 15-foot one. Let's go with this one here. Well, let's push it. Let's push it to 25. And we need a monitor for the ATEM. I like these Spectre ones because they're good and they're cheap, and it has speakers built in. And Anchor USB-C cables. These are the ones that I always use for everything. This brand, but it's a pack of them. Yeah, there it goes. This is the pack I always get. I got tons of these cables everywhere. And that's it. So if I was starting out, now this is going to give you room to grow. This will get me with, now of course you need to have an Ethernet connection. So if you really needed to, let's add a 50-foot Cat6 Ethernet cable. Hopefully that'll be long enough to connect whatever that you need. You can get it as low as $11 if you want. I like Cable Matters cables. This is a 10 gigabit, so you don't need that. But I mean, that's $16. That's a deal for that price. This is actually a 150-foot one for $25. I would go with this. That will give you, you can run that cable as long as you need to from wherever. 150 foot should be more than enough to compensate wherever your stuff is to connect it and have this be a hardline connection. So in this setup, we're under $1,000. This would be my go-to if you were just getting started. Now, you could always replace this and just go with your phone or your tablet and just get a mount for that and a tripod. That works. But if you wanted to, from this, we're getting video, 1080p video. We're pulling sound directly from our board, and we're using the ATEM to live stream. So that is what's handling that. So we're under, and if we removed all the other cables, we would be under $800. That will be my recommendation for that. If you're looking for that, I will make that into a list and tag that in the description when this video is over for that. Um, J Styles. One massive problem we have with PTZs is the color consistency. We use PTZ optics 30X plus 2 SMT AV 20Xs. I can't get the colors, exposure, lighting the same, massive differences. Yeah, that's one of the issues. Now, that's the next phase of stuff. At the churches I'm at, most people don't notice the color. Now, when you start like us and we're dealing with it, we notice that stuff a lot more. So one tip I would just say, and I understand, I'm not trying to negate what you're saying, but just realize a lot of the issues that we have as media ministry, we have them. No one else does. Because we're like me, I can tell when the video and audio is off by a second, but nobody in the church notices it because I'm seeing it all the time. That's how I'm able to notice it. But when the average person starts noticing it, that's when you have a problem. But just be mindful of that. I understand we want to make it look this way, but sometimes we have to suppress that thought of I need this to be perfect, because in the grand scheme, does it matter? You know, I'm not saying that to negate what you're saying, because I have the same issue at my church. I'm trying to change the color but I really don't pursue it that much because I notice it. My pastor, First Lady, Dr. Laura, no one has said anything about it yet. So I work on that at that level. All right. So Pat, hopefully my setup helped you on that. Brandon, what's going on, dude? Hope everything is well with you. And I've been on this page for quite a long time. I'm trying to find out where we're at on my list of comments. That's page 2. All right, that's page 2. Now we're on to page 1. Investment opportunity. Brandon said investment opportunity. Let's see. Claudette Reed. Good morning. My church is switching to ProPresenter. I noticed that it gives you options to display different things on different screens. How do you set that up? A display in the entryway and in the sanctuary. I have a video talking about that. You do stuff in your looks. So let me open up ProPresenter. I bought a license here so I can have it for questions like this. So give me a second for it to open up. Why is this taking so long? And there's another update. I will do that later. Remind me later. So inside of ProPresenter, you can have multiple outputs. So we're going to go here to our preferences and our screens, and you can make a bunch of these. So like right now, I have one for vMix. I have one that's for the ATEM, and you can make a bunch of these, mainly how many outputs you have or digital outputs. That's what I like about this. I really wish Presenter by Worship Tools would use some NDI, and it would make a whole lot of other features. But inside of here, you can do the looks. So if you go here to your default, and I'm gonna go edit looks. So for every screen that you have, you can set up what actually goes to it. So say you want to do an announcement feed and you want to make a screen here for, like right now, in my setup, the ATEM will show everything. It doesn't show mask. vMix doesn't show mask, but my vMix does not show messages, doesn't show props, doesn't show announcements, doesn't show media, doesn't show video. It only shows slides, and it changes it to a lower third configuration. So if we did this again, let's go ahead and make another screen. I'll make an NDI one. And we'll do a new one, NDI. All right, we got that. And I'm going to label this as, I don't know, announcements, right? That would be a screen. And here, now we're going to go to our looks, and now we have another screen here. What shows up on here? I don't want masks. I don't want messages. I don't want props. I only want announcements. I don't want slides. I don't want media. I don't want any of that. The only thing that's going to show here is announcements. That's how you can separate each one. All right. I hope that's simple, simple in explaining it, but that's kind of like what we've done. I haven't even used this yet. I haven't used the announcement layer yet. I haven't used the props layer yet. I just haven't had to use that in the ministries I've worked with, but there's a whole lot of functionality that's available. And that's the simplified way of explaining that, how you do that. Your look will determine what goes to each one of those monitors. And you just have to, you can make your own looks. Like for me, I have a look that's set for pre-service. So that feed that goes to the ATEM that's always in a lower third, it changes it to full screen when we're showing something for at the beginning of service. When we're in service, I switch the look so that that screen that goes to the ATEM is always in a lower third format. So you can always play around with those. All right, that was that question. We're on page 1. Lady Deborah, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Jean has another follow-up question. AJ, you forgot about my question. Can you tell me which program do you use for designing your installation? I'm trying to use Word. I use Draw.io. That is what I use for my design. They've changed the link to it, but it still works under that. So if I come back over here and I go to Draw.io, it changes to diagrams.net. It still works, but this is what I use to make all my designs. That's draw.io. So again, my apologies for missing your question. Back to Chad. For the choir mic, ideally, I'm looking for a single mic to put on a stand on the stage in front of the choir. I'm trying to avoid hanging mics from the ceiling. Okay, so you're going to need something that has kind of a wide diaphragm that's going to cover the group. I don't know how in file and rank, how many people do you have? How many people are in the rows and how deep is it? Because you want to have something that has like a cone shape that's going to be able to capture all of those folks, but it does not capture anything from the sides or the back to isolate all that extra sound. No, off the top of my head, I don't know of one that actually will cover that. But we'll see what we can do to try and find something to help you out with that. Man, everybody representing a city. We got Kansas City. Christopher, I wonder how churches manage their announcement gathering, submission, maintaining, etc., then converting that into presentation. I can tell you what I'm doing, and we're revamping what we're doing at Signs and Wonders. So for me, and this is kind of what I was doing at Antioch, and we're filtering that as well too. So if I cut over here, on our website, we have a media request, and it goes to a form that I need them to fill out. This is the same thing I've done before, and this is how I bring everything in. In the same way, all of our requests need to be in by Wednesday, and that's how I do it, and it gives me 2 days to make that stuff turn around, which reminds me that I need to, outside of that invoice, I also need to do our church anniversary stuff that I haven't finished on our website. See, the work never ends. That's how I do that, and then we go into the process of making. And again, I want to show people that from a media ministry standpoint, realize that, hey, I set the standard high. I don't expect everybody to meet my standard. I believe that I want everybody to know, like, hey, I uniquely make my stuff this way. I don't want you to clone me. I want you to realize that the purpose why we do stuff and uniquely be you. Like I have sometimes when I train, everybody's like, well, teach me how to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to teach you how to use the stuff. Well, how do we run our service? I don't know, because I'm not in your service. How I run my service might not be applicable for how you're doing it. I want to teach you how to be comfortable with the equipment, empower you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because problems are going to happen, and to produce the Great Commission that's unique for your ministry. So hopefully that helps. At least share you with my mindset is. All of y'all are welcome. So I think you found it. So that's awesome. I'm glad that helped you. August. The lower third in OBS works on Windows with the new update, but not on Mac. Awesome. Thank you for that. Once I restart my computer, I'm going to try that again as well. Aaron, things are outstanding. Thank you for asking. Philip Paul, question for Christmas service intro or outro audio. Oh, you know what? Let me finish that, and I might got an announcement for y'all as well, which I forgot about. Do you put Christmas songs that is pre-recorded, or what do you suggest to put what the songs that would go in tune with Christmas service? Honestly, I treat it the same way as anything else. We don't put any, if I did any music that was recorded, I make sure I have a license for it from Audio Jungle, Invatu, whatever service that I'm using that I have specifically a license for. And then I just use it just like anything else. Which reminds me, Pastor Daniel, if you are still here, I am looking over at my Mac. It's been chugging away for the last couple of days. We are, be on the lookout. We are working on OBS Bundle version 2. We're throwing a lot of stuff into this. A new minimalistic, modernized view. We have multiple countdown timers that you want to use. Everything is at a 15-minute stuff, and my computer's been chugging away at this, rendering the stuff for maybe like 4 days, the Mac. So we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be doing. We're going to be revising the whole OBS bundle. This one is going to be maybe about $5 to $10 more, only because it is going to include so much more than the other one. There also will be a separate one where it's just assets. If you want to use that for anything else, if you want to use it for your ATEM, if you want to use it for vMix, be on the lookout for that OBS bundle, complete bundle version 2 is in the works. And I'm rendering everything. I have it in mindset. We're also going to be doing a video on making your own intro video, utilizing some of this stuff, because the second component is going to be a template for DaVinci Resolve, to where you can, I'm going to make this live stream that you open up DaVinci Resolve, you just put your pictures in, and it builds out the whole thing for you automatically. You just have to render it. And I'm working to make something similar for Premiere and the other platforms that are available for video editing. So be on the lookout for that. We got a lot of digital content that we're updating, because the OBS Complete Bundle is kind of old, and we're going to update that so you have some new options as well. So be on the lookout. Everything is going to be on AJaytheCEO.com. I will make an announcement, do a video to show you everything as well too. Grace Place. Yeah, Amazon always is trying to make money. I'll just talk about when I went there and then popped up some other stuff. Brandon was saying, I'm trying to upgrade to PTZ cameras. Man, hey, the PTZ here, this PTZ that I'm using right now, it is a 12X. This PTZ was $400. It is great. And in my setup, I didn't need a 20X. That was one that Famaco gave me, pretty much brand new, and that's the one I'm giving to a ministry install, because I charged them at how much this one is, but I was giving them the bigger one for the bigger optical zoom, because I don't need the 20X inside of here. So yeah, they're coming down in price, dude. I think I already answered that. Back to Grace Place. Also, thanks for the suggestion to run the Hammond organ through our soundboard. It worked well, but I'm getting a signal on the board when the organ is off. It's the device to stop. Is there a device to stop that? You want to set a level on your organ. I had the same thing at Antioch. There's a gate. So the gate means once the volume gets to a certain level, then the mic will turn on. I feel y'all are using a wing board. I don't remember off the top of my head where that is. Let me see if I can find it on the X32 while that's turning on. But it's a gate, meaning that once the volume hits a certain level, then the mic turns on. Anything lower than that, it kills any type of signal that's going to that. That's the easiest way I can explain it. So let me see if I can find it. See, this works fine. Why is my font on here fine, but not anywhere else? All right, so let's say we want to use this crowd mic. And if anybody already knows this, please let me know. All right, gate. So we want to activate this, and we want to set a threshold of how low it is before it actually engages. And I don't have anything plugged into it, but that's really what it means. It's like until the volume hits this level, it's always going to suppress anything. And then once the volume gets up, especially on the organ, when you're just not hearing the Leslie on and it's just spinning, you don't want to catch that air. You find out whatever that level is, set the mic to that level, the gate to that level. Then once it passes that gate, then everything turns on. So hopefully that makes sense for you. All righty. Robert Moore, hey, thanks for joining. Back to Philip Paul. Hey, question. What spec would be enough to run the ATEM software and using the Type-C out from the ATEM to the laptop to convert it to HDMI out? You really don't need that much just for that. The ATEM software is not very taxing. Running like OBS just to handle that converting out, I would still recommend at least a 4-core, 4-core processor, 16 gigs of memory. You don't necessarily need a GPU, but that would help. But that's it. You don't need anything major. Like some of the laptops that I donated for our youth for Community Day, they were like $300 laptops. That's what we use to handle the Bible study at my church. Nothing taxing. That's all you would need. Campbell's Chapel AME saying, my biggest issue is sound. I'm not a sound engineer, but I play on one Sunday. My issue is that I can't seem to get quality sound when the choir is singing. They can be heard, but it does not pop like it should because of the acoustics in the church. Church was built in 73, and there haven't been many changes. This is one of those things that, honestly, I'm still trying to learn as well, too. I mean, I'm not a sound engineer. I know enough to level when I got a soprano singer that is completely sharp and completely off. I know enough to bring her down to mix her with the altos and tenors and the basses and mix like that. But I myself am also doing study on EQing and all this other stuff. Now, one thing that I don't know that I want to play around with is the X32s in the wing. They have a pink noise generator to where you can put a microphone in the middle of your building, wherever the room is, and it will help you calibrate and EQ the room. I've never done that, so I'm watching the videos on how to do that. When I get that down enough to where I'm not stumbling and the video isn't frustrating, I'll bring that to y'all because I'm working on that as well, because I think some of our speakers got blown. Did I just say that out loud? I was trying to hide that from my pastor. Somebody blew the tweeters in the church. So I need to get over there with my ladder and pull those speakers down and replace them with some other ones I have. But yeah, people not knowing what they're doing, not turning the system on right, shutting stuff off, makes those the speakers pop. And there are consequences to that. So that's why I need to go back in and EQ the room once I get these other speakers up and fix everything. But I will let y'all know when I get that done. Robert Moore, when you're doing audio setup, have you come across any issues with the instruments that buzz in the system? Perhaps due to, yes, actually yesterday when I was at New Hope and I installed the amp to get their other speakers done, which y'all haven't seen that video because I haven't made it yet. I'm going to do that this afternoon, hopefully. But I'm taking someone special to go get something to eat, and we're going to see Wakanda Forever. So if I'm able to squeeze that in, I will. But they had their pulpit, almost all of the jacks on the front don't work, and the 1/4 inch that was going to their floor speakers, the monitors for the pulpit, was just throwing nasty grounding noise. And I thought it was maybe an issue with having to resolder the connections on the other end, because when you jiggle the cable, the buzz goes away and comes back. Yes, I have experienced that. Now, what I'm solving for them is for me to fix that, I would have to rip up the whole pulpit to get access to all those cables. We're not doing that. We're going to run a snake in the ceiling, and we're going to add an S16 to their existing board. And we're going to reconnect all of those mics to that snake and bypass all those cables that have not been working. That's what we're going to do to bypass that. All right, Brandon, have a good day at work, sir. Haymood, I think Hamoud. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hello, what camera and capture card are you using for the stream? I am using the A10 Mini Extreme, and the camera I am using is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. That is what this camera is. And then this is a SMT AV 12X PTZ camera. Then I also have the Blackmagic Studio Camera 4K back there. Then my overhead is a Sony AX59. That's what that camera is. And one, two. Yep, that's it. Those are the cameras that I'm using. I have a Canon G50 that's not hooked up right now. That's my go-to. That's really connected to my Mac over here when I do stuff over there. Philip Paul wants to know, question, can Google Drive video direct upload to YouTube? To my knowledge, no, it cannot. Back to Claudette. In regards to ProPresenter, what hardware would be needed to connect to other TVs? We have one computer. You need to have different display outs. So depending on the computer, you can add, ProPresenter supports the Blackmagic mini monitor. That is an extension card that plugs into the computer that will give you a SDI out or a HDMI out for the sole purpose of ProPresenter. That could work. If that doesn't work, you can use mini USB to HDMI adapters, display adapters that plug into the back of your computer to give you another display, as long as your computer can support it. If you got a whole bunch of stuff plugged into your USBs, that won't work because all of the resources that your computer use are used up. That's the easiest thing. Those adapters are $15 for that. So let me see. I just had that USB to HDMI adapter. So for that, you would get something like this. I've actually personally used these, but you have to make sure that you're plugging it into a USB 3.0 jack. Because if you don't, you're not going to get 1080p. You might get something lower than that. That's what I've used when I've wanted to really add another output for whatever that I'm using. Hey, AJ, my church's channel finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Well, congratulations. Thank you for all your videos. You've truly helped us. That's awesome. Hey, I really hope that everyone, your ministry has a mission to hit 1,000, because most of our ministries don't have 1,000 people there. Realize when your channel hit 1,000, you are truly reaching more than just the people that are attending your ministry. It's a mindset change of realizing how many people we're touching. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. Next question. Sean White. Depending on the size of the group, I don't recommend one mic. I kind of recommend the same thing. It all depends. That's why I wanted to know the numbers, the chat that you have in there. And some more follow-up from Sean. Depending on the size of the choir, the large group, the hotter the mic will need to be to pick up everyone equally. Consider at least 2 condenser mics with a cardioid pattern in an XY configuration if you don't want to use an omnidirectional mic. Now, I used the Rode M, I forgot them. That's what I used. Originally was going to be used for a crowd mic, and I've repurposed them for the top and bottom of our Leslie mics. I think that would work as well too, and they're small as well too. And I left them at my church because they're there, but that's what I would recommend as well too. Cares of the Covenant wants to know, what's your experience for the pros and cons of the NVIDIA broadcasting? I played around with that when it's in beta. I have not used it recently at all. Honestly, for the most part, most of the stuff is the exact same stuff. It might have some more bells and whistles. NVIDIA, their version really leverages their GPUs. So I wouldn't try that if you don't have an NVIDIA GPU. But honestly, I don't think you're going to be getting anything different from the last time I remember using it than any other stuff. It might have some little bells and whistles different, but overall, it's the exact same thing that you would be doing. Or Wakanda forever. And then also back to Sean. Church Runs YouTube had a great techniques for setting levels for live streaming. For you can separate your front of house mix. Yeah, Church Runs has some really good stuff as well too. Howard, good afternoon. Are you familiar with Proclaim presentation software? Just curious on your personal thoughts. Yes, I've used it. I think it does well. A lot of churches I've used have actually migrated from that because they've reached some limits of what they wanted to do. The last version that I didn't support multiple different outputs of like lower thirds, full screen here, and that type of functionality, NDI and things like that. I have not touched it recently. So it's maybe been like 3 years since I've messed around with Proclaim directly. I think I did a video just showing how to put graphics through the ATEM with it. I have not done any high level stuff with it. So I need to make a mental note of revisiting that as well too. So I think that is about it, folks, because I got a whole bunch of homework that I just realized I need to finish up doing. I need to send this invoice off and a bunch of other things and finish the install of this system. We're going to be doing, that's going to be a quick install. That's a 1-camera install, the computer, ATEM Mini Pro, and a connection to audio. That's mainly it. And we're going to be just doing some training for the ministry. That's going to be Monday, as long as I'm waiting for the CPU. As you can see, everything in here is built. I'm waiting for the CPU and I'm waiting for the ATEM Mini because it was back ordered on Amazon. This came directly from B&H Photo. And when they deliver it, they need somebody to sign for it. So I'm waiting for that to be here to pick that up. But like I said, I didn't get a chance to update everything, but I want to thank y'all so much who are Patreon supporters, YouTube members. I really appreciate that. Since we're doing these giveaways, this is one of those things. All my Patreon supporters, all my YouTube members, all of y'all are entered in that giveaway 2 times automatically as a thank you for doing that. You can get started on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or you can become a YouTube member by clicking the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries and empower media ministries all over the world to truly reach more people and reach beyond the 4 walls. That's what it's all about. And before I finish, thank you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for constantly coming on my stream. Thank you for constantly looking at my videos, any other videos to enhance your ministry and reach more. That's what it's all about. You were made for this. If you're here, you've been called to do this. And I just want to thank you. I'm not in your ministry. I'm not even associated with your ministry. But guess what? When you win, we win. Because it's not about you or me winning and reaching everyone. It is about us collectively working together to reach everyone. That's what it's all about. And I want to do whatever I can to try and help you. So I want to say thank you for all the hard work, that money that you're spending to fund the stuff at the churches that don't appreciate what you're doing, that ministry. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. And because most of the time that we do this sometimes can be a very thankless thing. So I want to take this platform that I got to tell you thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. Keep it up. You got what it takes. If I can start from where I did and there was nothing and I'm able to do this, I am not excited about me reaching 100,000 subscribers. I'm excited about all of y'all reaching 100,000 subscribers. What good is it if I help reach 100,000 people? But wouldn't be more important if 100,000 ministries reached 100,000 people? That would change some things. Now we get into the multiplication of reaching and impacting and enhancing the ministry of what we're doing. So anyway, folks, y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever y'all are on the face of the planet. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love y'all. And we'll be catching up with y'all and seeing y'all. If you're on the Facebook group, we'll be seeing y'all on our roundtable on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If not, hey, folks, we'll be catching y'all in the next video. Y'all have a blessed one, and we'll be talking to y'all later. Later.